Hello, YouTube. This is Khi Turner. I had to make a follow-up to yesterday's video. This incident is so crazy. By now, we all know how Reddit and small investors have used stocks from Gamestop and other smaller companies to humiliate Wall Street, like just completely obliterate Wall Street. I had to really evaluate why so many people are getting involved in this. You know what I mean? Like AOC, Ted Cruz, the left, the right, the little guys, small investors. It's mainly due to the fact that this is a pivotal moment in history. I feel like in the future, this is going to be a time to remember. This is going to be the moment that people are going to be like, you remember the time when investors took on Wall Street and they won? Like, it's going to be like, it's a pivotal moment in stocks. Like, there's been crashes, there's been recessions, there's been incredible gains, especially artificial gains. That's a whole different topic. But this is definitely one of those moments, like when regular, everyday people, the Joe Schmoes of the world, it's not Reddit, it's not just one forum. No, this is everybody. Everybody collectively came together because at first it started out as a Reddit thing, but then it collectively came through as investors all over the world. People like Phil DeFranco, you know what I mean? Like literally everyday people were like, let's get in on this. You know what I mean? So it became something much bigger. And we took on Wall Street and we won, and they got mad that we won. That's the crazy part. They couldn't just take their L and go by, you know. What's a couple $1 billion to these big companies? But for us, that's a win. You know what I mean? I was winning a couple $100, a couple $1,000. Why does that matter to them? You know what I mean? Like from an economical standpoint, you losing 2 billion of your 28 billion is a lot less impactful than $1,000 to somebody who has $10,000. It's this corporate greed that, I mean, that's why a lot of people have that disdain for this whole ordeal. It's really a lot of corporate greed going on here. And I mean, I guess you can say that's capitalism, right? But capitalism is a good thing in a lot of ways. This is just straight up corruption, though. You can't artificially control the market and think everything's gonna be okay with that. No, it's not. It's not cool. Automating the market, and essentially what I mean by that is they can control exactly how they want different stocks, prepositions, ETFs, anything, literally, even options to go, because they can control exactly how the market is going to sway. People have for a long time, Graham Stephan, all these guys included, have said, oh, no, the market, Robinhood and all these small investors, they have no control over the market. They can't control how it works. Literally, go back and reference a video from, and I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Go back and reference a video from him from November of 2020. He literally had a video that said, well, maybe they can't control the market. Now, he gave it as a proposition, so it's maybe not. But the consensus overall with most big hedge funds and different big investors was that Robinhood users could not control the market. Now the entire narrative is different. Obviously, we all know the secret. But that still doesn't allude to the fact that these people, now that they realize the power of the everyday Joe Schmo investor, are now trying to say, oh, well, you know, it's now that we know you have this power, we're going to make it so that we are not going to allow you to use that power. It's like, we're going to take away your power. Literally selling your shares of a company you already own against your will, which is now illegal. I'm going to get that in a whole separate video. But also not allowing people to buy shares, which would automatically make the stock, you know, depreciate in value. There's no way that it would go. Wall Street is playing with a different set of rules. Essentially, you are the little guy. You're like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm investing, boom, bang, boom. You get screwed over, you lose all your money, no big deal. Who cares about that? You're an everyday Joe Schmo. Jane Doe, we don't care about what happens to your money. You lose your 401k in a bet, a stock option, that's cool. But as soon as Wall Street, as soon as these hedge funds, these guys are like, okay, you know what? We deserve to be able to bend the rules and break the rules in order to fit what we want to happen. As soon as they started losing a bunch of money, oh, now the rules have to change. Oh, now you can't buy shares of a company. And it's like, what? That's not fair. My brother gave a great example yesterday. He was like, man, it's like beating somebody in a game of basketball and they take the ball away. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have the opportunity to win at a game that the odds are not only their favor, but they completely control the entire game. It ain't like you're in Vegas with a casino. The odds not in your favor in that, but you can still win though. You know what I mean? There's a chance that you can win, a small chance that you're going to win. The house going to win indefinitely if you keep playing, but there's a chance you can win a little bit of money and get out of there. In this case, they're controlling the whole entire game, so there's no way you can win. It's literally the ball's in their court. So if you don't really understand the significance of the scenario, it's the point that they were short selling Gamestop, the stocks in general. So, and there's a few other companies that were on this list versus Wall Street bets. And because investors were putting in their money and changing the marketplace for these guys, they felt the need that they needed to not allow for investors to actually even buy shares of GameStop. So it's auto-inflating the market. Like that's the word I just made up right there. I just used that when I thought about it. It's perfect because it's like an automation right there at that point. You can control exactly how you want the market to look. And at that point, it's going to get to a legal precedent at that point. You know what I mean? With that type of power, it essentially makes it so that they can control any stock at any given point and make it auto-inflate or auto-deflate and just completely control the narrative of said stock. So hypothetically, let's say tomorrow they wanted some completely, some random stock, I don't know, Nokia to blow up, right? They could control that by allowing people to only buy shares or only sell shares. And now this is a whole different issue of like them controlling the market. You get what I'm saying? Like it's almost like the Google issue where they could, see all of your different things that you're browsing, and privacy versus convenience. It's the exact same moniker, but in this case, it's not a privacy versus convenience. It's control of the market type scenario, where if you can limit the sale of stocks in this case, then why can't you do it with another case? You know what I mean? That's why I think that like everybody should be pissed at this scenario, because it's way deeper than just, an issue of stocks or, monetary control. It's almost like a freedom thing. You know what I mean? Like that's why people that are not even involved in stocks, not even involved in anything financial, are getting involved in this and saying, this is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Because if they can limit the sales of stocks, what else can they do with that power? You know what I mean? Like where else are we limited at? And the little guy has always had this problem of like the poor remaining poor and the rich getting richer. But now when you realize the rules were literally in their favor, you understand the concept of why that dynamic has been in place, and it continues to be in place for a lot of people. Yeah, you don't got to play the victim and be like, oh man, we got the rules stacked against us. But in cases like this, the evidence is there. This isn't a us versus them. That's just not even a fair fight. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to play the game, and you gotta be able to win and lose. Stocks are a risk reward type of endeavor. For everyday Joe Schmo, if you put your money on the line, there's a chance you're gonna lose. It's especially with stock trades. You know what I mean? Like stock options, that's an all or nothing type of game. It's a sum up, sum down type game. So you got to be willing to bet your money and say, oh, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So why should we be able to bail out these big firms and big companies that put their money in and say, oh, well, we lost, and then they say, oh, well, we want to get our no, you lost. The little guy loses all the time. We don't get money back for losing. We don't get to control different narratives when we lose. So you lose, you gotta face the repercussions, face the consequences. That's why it's a real issue for so many people, because it's not about the fact that, you know, the market or anything like that. It's the fact that they lost, and they're trying to renege on their loss by saying, okay, we're gonna make sure that you can't buy stock, so the stock artificially goes down, and then we can, you know, now put puts on that and now make our money back from the Gamestop market going down. But it's not really going down. It's going down because you're forcing it to go down. Come on now, that ain't fair. That's not fair at any capacity. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I see the holes there. I know the real story. You know, there's a lot of people that don't know stocks that won't understand the significance of why this is impactful. But it's like, now hearing that, it's like you got a better understanding of like what's going on in the background. The Robinhood alerts have been blowing up like on the feeds that you have in your little investment app. And it's been saying like random stuff like, oh, the market's very volatile right now, and we just want to help you guys out, you know? So, and even things like that would scare especially new investors, or if this is the first time where you're just doing this just because somebody else told you, hey, invest in this company, invest in GME, invest in Nokia, invest in BlackBerry, invest in all these companies, and you just did it just because of that, or you seen it on the news and you invested because of that. And when Robinhood says, oh, you know, you probably want to get rid of those shares, that also is directly impacting the, you know, the sales of these shares. So of course, if you had a share and then you seen these messages saying, you know, oh, it's probably going to go down, it's going to make you also want to sell your shares. So I'm like, they're controlling the back end and the front end of all the market in terms of different small components that all come together to make it so that they can raise or lower any stock basically whenever they want to. That's a lot of power that we're giving to this. Now, I mean, hey, regulators can somehow adjust for this, but I'm telling you, I just feel like a big boom is about to happen. That's all I'm gonna say. I just feel a big boom is about to happen, especially in the stock market game. But I ain't gonna talk your ear off. Just really passionate about this because, I mean, as an investor who's pretty good at it, you know what I mean? I just really see exactly the direction it's headed. I've seen it beforehand. You know, I haven't got in beforehand. So, yeah, the whole scenario is super duper shady, dude. And the fact that so many people are gonna get screwed out of money that they properly deserve, and it's always the little guy that suffers, not the big guy in this case, and it's bad. If you got any more input, leave comments down in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to the channel. As always, have an aqua day.